One of the myths of modern art is that it began like a prophet in the desert, the avant-garde, the rejected outsider armed with truth. Today that myth is lost. By the start of the 70s, the idea of an avant-garde in painting and sculpture was winding down. It's now over, part of a period style. And in the meantime, modernism itself has become our official culture. This is not a building, it's a sculpture. Not finished yet, but one of the largest of the 20th century and a long way from the art world. This valley is in the Nevada desert, 5,500 feet up and 4 hours hard drive over bad roads from Las Vegas. It's also on the edge of the nuclear proving grounds. The artist, Michael Heiser, is an American, and the piece is called Complex One. He started it in 1972. 40 meters long, 33 wide and 7 high. A colossal task. At the most, a couple of dozen strangers see it in a year, so it has a smaller audience than Cubism did 70 years ago. It can never be moved, no museum will ever take it in, and reproduction gives no real idea of it. We're at the end of modernity, and modern art has found its mass audience. And so one of the last acts of modernism was, so to speak, to return to the desert and to retreat from those who wanted to smother it with love and discover in physical isolation a kind of parallel and equivalent to the cultural isolation that was the fate of the original avant-garde.
Sure, I invented that idea.
Michael Heiser.
The idea being that there are no values attached to something like this because it's not portable and then not a malleable barter exchange object. And that says it. You can't trade this thing, you can't put it in your pocket. If you have a war, you can't move it around. It's not worth anything. In fact, it's an obligation. The theory is that art and land are the things that have the greatest value. And here you have both art and land if either is excusable and neither really worth very much. I think all large sculptures have been technically difficult for all people who ever built them. And I think that I haven't tried to surpass that scale. I've simply tried to keep pace with it, and it's a historical scale. I think that it's normal and natural to build a sculpture of this measurement at this time.
Why make such things? Why spend so long constructing something so big and so hard to get to? Partly to change the work's relation to the art world as a system, to get it out of the stream of opinion about art and the stream of official culture and money exchange. Isolation is the essence of land art. Remoteness gives all efforts to see it the character of a pilgrimage. By going to it, you have in a sense said yes to it before you see it, and given more time to it than most people would ever give to looking at a sculpture in a museum. But the idea that a museum would even bother with advanced art is a fairly new one. And the notion that it could become the place where modernist credentials would be sealed and stamped is even newer. This was largely an American invention. One of the illusions of the